Welcome to the Enjoy More 30s Family Finance Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to making life more enjoyable for young families by hitting on the financial topics that tend to weigh on us, stress us out, and distract our focus from simply enjoying life.
Hello and welcome back to the Enjoy More 30s Family Finance Podcast. Our series this time around is called The Financial Parables of Your Life. So each week I'm coming out and talking to you about what may be a story you've probably heard before, but maybe a somewhat altered version of the story, because stories are just an easier way to remember things that are really important, whether it be information about our family or finances. So as always, before I begin, please share and like, please leave reviews. I'd love to reach and help as many young families out there just like you. So today, please join me for our story, The Two Houses on Pleasantville Avenue. Identical twins Johnny and Jimmy Smith had just sold their parents' home and received an equal share. They were both about to move into identical houses on Pleasantville Avenue, having both obtained identical jobs at a factory just down the road. Johnny said to his brother, "Isn't it fortunate we received just enough to buy our houses?" Jimmy replied, "Well, I decided not to buy my home outright." "Not buy your home outright? Ha! You must enjoy paying interest for no reason. You always were the fool between us." As his brother was clearly not looking for much of a discussion on the matter, Jimmy simply replied, "You may be right, so we will see." Some time passed and the factory was unexpectedly shut down. Johnny and Jimmy both lost their jobs. "What are we going to do?" shouted Johnny. "We can't buy any food, we can't pay our taxes, we're going to have to sell our homes." Jimmy replied, "Well, I'm not going to have to sell for some time. Since I only put a small amount down, I still have plenty left over to buy food and pay my taxes. In fact, the extra that I invested has actually done quite well." Most people out there make their decisions based upon the things that they've learned up to this point in time in their lives. Other ways you can make different types of decisions, though, would be by learning something new. Now, there's a lot to be said about creating a flexible situation financially. Paying off your mortgage was taught to us as a positive, going back to the Great Depression kind of a mentality. For most people, though, their home is one of their biggest, if not the biggest assets that they have. And when you have a home that's paid off, that's a lot of money that you can no longer touch. Taking out a mortgage, which is obviously not wanted to begin with in a situation where somebody tried to pay off their house, and it's not even a possibility if you've lost your job, or selling the home are the only ways of accessing the money when the home is paid off. A mortgage or selling it. That's it. So there's a lot to be said for then keeping assets outside of the home. Maybe Jimmy from the story would eventually have to sell his home, but he would not be put into a forced duress situation like his brother Johnny was. And depending on mortgage rates at any specific time, the last few decades have shown historically low interest rates. So funds invested outside the home may have the opportunity to grow much more than the interest rate being paid out on the mortgage, especially if it's a tax-deductible interest charge for your situation. So I'm not saying this will 100% make sense across the board for everyone, but it also never hurts to maybe learn something new. So thanks for tuning in today, and join us for next week's story, The Crow and the Pitcher. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Please remember to review and share for others. And if you need any help, don't hesitate in reaching out. I probably have helped someone just like you. Until next week, thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.
The conversations on this show are Joe's opinions and provided for general information purposes only. They do not constitute accounting, legal, tax, or other professional advice for your specific situation. You should always seek appropriate advice from a financial advisor, accountant, lawyer, or other professional before acting upon any content or information found here first. Joe is affiliated with New Horizons Wealth Management LLC, a branch office of TFS Securities Inc. and TFS Advisory Services, an SEC-registered investment advisor, member FINRA/SIPC.